Welcome to this week's episode of the Overflow Podcast at theoverflowpodcast.com. We are so glad that you are here with us today. As always, my name is Joaquin.
And I'm Jay.
And we are so happy that you are here joining us today on this festive week.
So festive.
So festive. This is the week that Christmas begins.
Yes, it is.
It is. Because, if you are listening to this this week, at some point this week, we got Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday. What you got planned for Thanksgiving, Jay?
I am leaving on a jet plane. No, that's a lie. I'm driving.
Oh.
I'm driving over to Nashville.
That's like a short flight.
Yo, it's like 20 minutes.
Like you drive 2 hours to Chattanooga to take a 5-minute jump. Or
you drive
45 minutes for a 20-minute flight.
I know that it's 20 minutes because last week What Up RG had 3 shows with Ty Brazel.
Right.
And he wanted to fly. He wanted to fly out late instead of going early with DJ 412. And so they booked him the flight.
How dare he?
It was no, because he just came back from like that huge tour with Lecrae, so he wanted to spend some time with his family. But still, it was funny because like when they booked the flight, when I arranged the flight for him, whatever, I was like, yo, it's a 3-hour drive, but a 20-minute flight. But
question is which is ultimately cheaper, the flight or the drive?
The flight or the drive, right? The drive,
right? It's cheaper. Plus, it's fun driving
because
it's fun driving in the mountains.
Gassing up your car is a lot cheaper than gassing up an airplane because you got to pay those. You got to pay those fuel fees on the flights now,
right? And especially when you're flying on your G6.
Shout out Far East movement. But anyway,
woo!
So we're driving. We're driving out to. It's so funny. We're driving out to Nashville. All right. So the idea was to drive out to Nashville because Junior was going to be alone.
Right.
Right.
Now we find out he's not going to be alone.
No.
Bump that dude. We're going to Knoxville.
I would not go to Knoxville.
I don't know why Knoxville.
No, but right. So we're gonna go. We're gonna cook there, us and Junior.
Right.
And then he mentioned this to some people that he goes to church with. As a Junior's part of a church plant out there in Nashville.
We're so proud of him.
And so proud of him.
We're so proud of him.
And
we're proud of you, Junior.
And apparently, because it's a church plant, there are a lot of people that move to Nashville for the plant, and they can't go home or, they don't know anybody in Nashville.
Right.
So it became a 4-person dinner in Junior's house to a 15-person dinner in like some area or some part of the church where they all gather to eat.
Oh, nice.
So there are 2 pernils in my freezer. I'm going to start cooking one Wednesday.
Nice.
I'll start cooking one Wednesday
no
to
turkey?
bring one cooked, and then I'm going to make another one there.
Right.
No turkey because someone
else is making the turkey.
Yeah. So it's going to be like a potluck.
Oh, okay. That's the best kind right there.
So a bunch of people are going to bring. It's like a potluck Friendsgiving. So a lot of people are going to bring stuff. So somebody's going to fry a turkey.
I've never had a fried turkey.
And they're going to bring that in, and then...
You ever had a fried turkey?
Yeah, I did.
I've never had one. I've heard they're like amazing.
I'll bring some.
No, it's not the same.
It's not because it's going to be 4 days old.
Because it'll be 4 days old, homie. Nobody want that.
But I will tell you how it tastes. I'll tell you if it's delicious or if it's delish not.
Well, according to Bill, the guy I worked with, like he said a few years back, his brother who's passed now, like that's what he would do. He would fry the turkey. He would fry turkeys, and he says when it's done, anything, right? When it's done right, he goes, man, it's like super tender and juicy, and with the skin crispy, and
right.
And I'm just like, that sounds amazing. Oh, that sounds so amazing.
And my thing is that I'm not a big fan of turkey.
I like why? Turkey's good
because I'm just not a big fan of turkey.
It's good meat. It's good healthy meat.
I'm not a big fan of turkey.
It gives you the itis.
But
because there's something in turkey that gives you the itis.
But I'm looking forward to
it'll be fun
meeting all these strangers.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It'll be Junior and Christina.
Right. So
right.
This is reverse, right?
So Junior's like crazy. Hold on. Talk about Junior. So the whole song,
right?
he's like, it's not a Nazi song. Like, yes, it is. That's the whole point of the movie. He's like, well, I didn't watch it.
Well, all right, even if it wasn't a Nazi song, let's say it's not a Nazi song. Who cares? Why are we going to be singing for Thanksgiving? The only thing that should be sung is like, thank you, Jesus, bless this food, amen. Boom, and just start eating.
Yum.
Yum. Yo, yeah, no, we're doing like, our Thanksgiving's going to be like real low key. You know, I'm bringing the drinks because that's the only thing they ever asked me to bring.
Because you can't cook.
Because I don't cook. It's not that I can't, it's that I don't. And I don't want to learn. But mom's doing like every year, man, stuffing the turkey with mofongo.
Right. You see, like if we were doing it here at home,
which is delicious,
I would probably like do a turkey, the same thing with some mofongo stuffing, whatever, and save the pernil for Christmas.
Yeah.
But since somebody's frying a turkey and whatever,
right.
and
even though, like, as far as I'm concerned, pernil is $3.65.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But my whole thing is
I want pernil.
Since we're the only Caribbeans that'll be there, right? So I'm making the pernil.
Wait. As you're talking about that, Mom's was like, "Oh, should I make a ham?" And we're like, "Nah, I don't make no ham."
Now you're gonna text her, make a pernil.
Yo, I am. I'm texting the fam right now. I'm like, "Yo, let's do like a small pernil," because, not for nothing, but for leftovers.
Yo.
So I can have them the next day because I got to work Thursday.
Not for nothing, though.
I can have them on Friday.
Yo. We went to the Korean farmer's market.
Right.
That's the best place to go. When you want to find, like, big old cuts of pernil for treat.
For treat?
For treat. I was drinking my coffee.
Yo, yeah, no,
big
like
cuts of pernil for cheap.
Yeah,
like
we're doing
talk.
like I think that the mofongo stuffing is like the non-keto thing, the non-keto friendly thing that we're gonna have. Where everything else is gonna be
because they're all on keto now,
keto
right?
friendly. Well, like me and Raquel.
Becca's not on keto?
Nah, Becca's not on keto, and Pop. Mom's just trying to get Pops on keto, but he fights her, and
of course he does,
because he's a knucklehead. But he had a colonoscopy today.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta call him tomorrow and make fun of him.
Yes, you do.
You should.
Don't pull me into it. I'm not gonna.
We should throw some. You should say something on Facebook. That'd be hilarious.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not starting to fight with you, Gonzalez's. It's like you going to New York and starting to fight with my brothers. Like, we don't win.
But I do.
No, you don't.
I do low key.
No,
I'm like low key with it.
You low key join and fights already started by us.
Right, but
you come in and you throw jabs.
No.
Because
I'm.
But you won't start it.
Because I'm smart.
This is what I'm telling you. I am not.
I'll start it.
I'll
start it, and you just low key throw in. It'll be
you started. You started on
right.
Facebook and you text me, let me know, and I'll come in with the jabs. But I'm not gonna start it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not starting a fight with you.
Yeah, I'm like the punk in a street fight. Like the two guys fighting. I'm like, yeah, you hear what he said? Then I come in and throw a sucker punch and then back out. Like I don't know who that was.
Yo, what happened? What happened?
Yo, but no.
I'm actually excited. I'm excited and looking forward to
it'll be
cooking
fun.
for all these people.
Yeah, it'll be a fun.
And just meeting
trip.
them because like we said, we
yeah,
congratulated
man.
Junior,
yeah,
right?
Because it's been a long time.
It's been a long time
He's
since he's been a part of
always
a church.
coming up with a reason why he didn't like a certain church.
But
and we give him crap for it.
Yeah, even though like 8 out of 10 times these reasons are valid because like the church culture, the just whole subculture of Nashville is like bananas.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no perfect place, and which ultimately is going to lead into what we're talking about anyway. But there's no perfect place anyway.
No.
I think that's the problem is that we keep trying to.
And I think the great thing about this is that
it's from the ground up.
Exactly. This is a church plant.
So if anything happens, if he's like, I don't like this, you're part of it.
Not only that,
you're the reason. You're the reason.
No, but not
you're the
reason. but it could be a thing that you've been there since the jump.
Since the jump. Jay's hitting puberty. At 45, he finally hit puberty.
Yay! But he's been this. He's been this since the jump. Like you've been this since the jump, son. So whatever you don't like now was always there, and you at a spot a place of influence where you could have like done something about it.
Word. That's true. I mean, yeah, but that's cool. That'll be fun. Now, me, I'll be working, and then I'll, I always work holidays just because I work early, and nothing ever happens till after 4, till 4 or after anyway.
That's only because we're Latino.
Right.
Right, so Junie's staying behind
to do Thanksgiving with his girlfriend.
Thanksgiving lunch with his girlfriend.
Whack. He could have gone and eat some good food.
No, but he was so like they were both a little disappointed, right? Because they were like, because he was like, I have to go to our house for Thanksgiving, but it's great because they have it. They're gonna have Thanksgiving lunch at 1 PM, and then we could come to the house for Thanksgiving dinner. So, pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. Because we're going to Nashville. So too bad, so sad. You do your first girlfriend duties, right? Because it's almost like a rite of passage. Right. You do your first girlfriend duties, but you're going to come back to Sunshine asking you for leftovers.
It's a white of passage. Because the girlfriend's white. The kids still got the jokes.
Right. So, yeah.
No, that's good. No, we're just, ours is going to be low key too. It's just, me and, the fam, sisters, parents. I just found out we got some family friends who are going to be coming, joining us. It'll be, just be just the low key, which is cool. Like, I mean, I like big things with a lot of people, a lot of family, a lot of friends. It's always fun. And then also low key stuff is always kind of.
I love the low key stuff.
It's always kind of fun
with just like family, close friends. I mean, you know that.
We should try.
But there are times where I just like you said, just like what you just said. I like the bigger stuff too. It just depends on what it is. Right?
Yeah.
I feel for me, like,
I was just gonna say like, yo, I should talk to my Don and tell her, yo, get with my mom, and you guys come up for Christmas or for like.
Nope.
New Year's Eve, we'll do a big
New Year's
meal.
Eve. That would be dope.
Do a big New Year's Eve meal or whatever, but we're not going to be here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're going to be in Puerto
Rico. So look, you guys can come over. It was such a long drive.
So funny. Magda was saying, hey, we haven't gone up there. We need to go up there. I'm like, yeah, that would be a good idea. We got to set it up. But I know that Christmas, she wants to celebrate Christmas in the house. Right. Well, us, Christmas Eve. She wants that in the house, so.
Because if we get you guys to go up, we could probably talk Angel and them to come up. That'd be a lot of fun.
It would, except that you guys aren't going to be.
We're not going to be there for Christmas. Sorry. But yeah, so Thanksgiving coming up. That's great. It's awesome. Always good time because there's always food everywhere. Some good food to kind of chomp on.
I'm excited. Sorry, back on this. I'm excited because Junior said that there's an Indian couple,
right?
And they're gonna bring like some authentic food.
Don't make the jokes.
Be
like, we got some curry turkey.
Oh, that would be that.
That would be interesting.
I would eat that.
That would be interesting. Now we're talking. No, I'm not gonna say it. So. We're so terrible. I'm a terrible, terrible person. So anyway, Thanksgiving coming up, super exciting. Can't wait for that because that's the launch right into Christmas. I was just thinking today, it's every year. Charlie Brown Christmas special. That's got to be played. Some of them old school. You got to play those old school ones for now that the boy is a little older. Well, he'll probably like it a little more. The old school, like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed and
we already started.
And Charlie Brown and all them.
We already started. We saw.
You got to do Charlie Brown Thanksgiving first. You can't do the Christmas one.
No, we didn't do the Christmas one. I own the DVDs because they were Christmas gifts from my sister, Sister Joe. But that and the Mr. Magoo,
right?
Mr. Magoo's Christmas. But no, we. So Magda,
Island of the Misfit Toys.
Every year, exactly. So every year they do a decorating contest at Magda's job.
Right.
So this year they decided to do the theme. Well, Magda's team, they decided the theme was going to be Island of Misfit Toys. That you said that. So we saw it on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
So we already started with the Christmas cartoons because like she had to brush up.
Yeah, it's funny because I was listening to the Adam Carolla podcast and they were talking about it, and it was so true. You remember, now, we can go buy them, we could rent them, we could just go on Amazon or Google or Apple, whatever, pay the $3.99 and watch it whenever we want, or buy it so we can watch it whenever we want. But I mean, remember when we were kids, man, like we'd be looking in the TV guide or the newspaper guide and we go, oh my gosh, it's coming on at 8 o'clock.
This week
at 8 o'clock. And we had to, park ourselves at 7:55, and wait.
Oh, you say that.
And then when you saw the special,
right? So check that out, right? I'm glad you said that because I had the DVD because for whatever reason, we got like a box set from Amazon, but I didn't order it, and neither did Magda. Like it was mysterious.
Oh wait a minute! I ordered,
and when we contacted them, they were like, "We don't see that order." So yeah, there you go. Enjoy it. So yay!
Merry Christmas.
Right? So but that specific DVD was missing. Like when I look for it now,
which one?
The one that had Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, okay.
And then when I try to look for it online, they did a CGI update.
Right, boo.
And exactly.
We want
I wanted the claymation,
yeah.
right? The Rankin Bass claymation. So when I finally found it, when I clicked play and I cast it to the TV, it was, I don't know how they did it, but it was like a direct recording. So it started with the special
that does
going around in a circle. Right? Not only that, but it had the commercials from the 80s.
Oh, so somebody just ripped it off the TV or the tape or whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea how they did it, but I'm so freaking grateful because they had like Light Bright commercials,
right?
Like
He-Man,
like
all that stuff.
Like all that, and I'm like, these commercials are like from back in the day.
Yeah, where those kids like had the cool backyards where they had like the caves and stuff to play.
They had.
I was like, I look at my backyard, it's just flat. You looked at your backyard, it's like I don't have one.
I don't have one. I live in projects. But they had like the commercials for the Power Reels when they first came out.
Right.
I was like, I remember wanting one of those.
Oh man. Yo, that's awesome. Listen, that's the thing, man. That's the one thing, right? These kids.
We will have to wait. I was telling Magda that.
That anticipation, that excitement, like, it's Christmas. I know these shows are going to come on. When do they come on? Or even when, The Wonderful World of Disney, they would do their special stuff, and they would, just that special, that dun, dun, dun.
You know what I miss?
Like for the Halloween stuff and the Christmas.
You know what I miss? You know what I miss? Not only Saturday morning cartoons, because now that channels like Nickelodeon, Disney, and Cartoon Network, they killed all that, right?
Yeah.
But remember when they used to play, when they used to have a show, either the week before on a Friday night that had like the preview of all the new Saturday morning cartoons that were gonna come out.
Yeah.
And they would show like little teasers of each cartoon.
Excited. Oh yeah.
Oh my god,
dude! I remember. Now that we're taking this trip, Mom and my mom can never understand, right? Because she would be like, I don't understand how I can't get you up at 7 a.m. to go to school, but at like 5:30, 6 o'clock every Saturday morning, you're like wide awake. I'm downstairs. I'm watching The Lone Ranger. Yep. I'm watching sometimes Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. Then you'd watch like The Lone Ranger. And then just from there it was just cartoon after cartoon like till like almost noon, and then
the karate movies,
and then time to go outside and play.
No. For us, after the cartoons,
I had a yard. So
for us after the cartoons, they gave like the old school karate flicks.
Right.
So we would watch that. Right. So it was cartoons. Then we watched the old school karate
Kung Fu
flicks,
Theater,
right?
whatever.
The Kung Fu Theater, and then after that we go outside and play.
Yeah, man. It's cool, right? Because we both enjoy the fact that we can kind of watch. Like I've been watching. I'm on season 2 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I've just kind of been just rewatching it, and I'll be sitting at work laughing. And I know the guy I work with. Sometimes I was like, "What this dude is laughing at?" Because I like laughing out loud because it's such a funny show, and that's awesome. I love the fact that I can do that. Right? We both love the fact that we can do that.
Yeah.
But there is something about kind of that anticipation that's no longer there,
dude. What about
even though we're getting it a little bit with Titans, right? Because we're kind of like, oh man, we gotta wait.
What about when like back on those Saturday morning cartoons, right? There were 3 major networks back then.
Correct.
It was ABC, NBC, and CBS. And you had switch from channel to channel to try to watch everything because there was no Netflix. So it's not like, oh yeah, I'll just watch that. I'll catch it on Netflix when it comes out.
No. Well, for me, it was more like okay. And obviously, I don't remember specifically, but it was like, okay, so I know after Lone Ranger, they say like a WWF cartoon would come on, so I watch that, boom, and then after that's done, you switch to the next channel for the Smurfs, and then you switch to the next channel for whatever,
switch it for He-Man,
whatever. You'd be like switch it back, so you knew, all right, this one's over, so I'm gonna switch, and then you sit there because you had to watch the commercials, we didn't go.
Not us. We would go.
Nah, man. No, because
and then watch it a little bit. No, not yet.
No, see, I would never do that. I would never do that because I didn't want to miss. Because I had even today I'm kind of like that, right? I had my boop 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 boop.
Yeah, no, we would.
I had to do the thing. Now, once I got a little older,
turn it back.
When I got a little older, and if it was like between He-Man and G.I. Joe, then yeah, you'd be like boom, 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 boom. But Saturday mornings, it was like, no, this. And then, I had my little sister, so we had to watch one of the things, Care Bears or
like
whatever.
Care Bear or Rainbow Bright.
But then you low-key liked the Care Bears, you kind of pretended you didn't really want to watch it, but you low-key were like,
I'm so glad that it was 3 boys, and then my little sister came like 7 years later, right? So it was a long time of us just watching everything we wanted. And then when she came around, I was like, okay, fine, we got to change it. And watch whatever, right? And not low key liking it because by the time she came out, like the cartoons started getting cornier and cornier.
Right? Yeah. No, but come on, you low key like the Care Bears.
No, I didn't low key like the Care Bears. I like the Care Bears.
You look kind of. No, I'm saying though is well for me because I had a little sister, right? Because she's only 4 years younger than me. You low key kind of liked some of the. We used to watch Strawberry Shortcake because she liked Strawberry Shortcake and Care Bears. Those. I did. You know what? They're cartoons. I like them. As a kid, you didn't really, but now as a man, you're kind of like, I like them. If you got something to say it, because then you're going to be the guy that got his butt whooped by somebody watching Strawberry Shortcake. Who's more embarrassed now? As you're clapping, who's more embarrassed now?
I didn't have to.
Because you had all those boys. Right, but I had a sister, so I had to navigate. And which I guess that's why I kind of like, some of the movies. I like all the big, rough, like violent action movies.
Did you watch your romantic comedies?
And, I went and watched Instant Family last week. It was really.
Would that be considered a romantic comedy? It was just a comedy,
like a family
comedy.
Like a family comedy,
right?
But it was really good. It got Dusty in there a few times.
Word.
Where it just kind of like.
It is based on a true story, so.
It's a low key, but then, I go low key. I went and saw A Star Is Born. That was like really good.
That's
and
a chick
that
flick.
And that really, dude, at the end, I was just like, man, this just ain't right. And then I run into somebody from Orange Theory.
Yeah.
And this lady from Orange Theory, she's like, oh hey. I'm like, hey. You didn't see me here. I got a rep to uphold.
He's like, oh, my date's in the bathroom. Yeah, when she turns around, you run away.
I push her, run away. There she is. Just take off running. So speaking of movies, great segue into the last and final Aquaman trailer dropped today.
Yeah.
And they showed more footage. They showed what's his name? Dafoe?
No. Oh, Willem Dafoe?
Willem Dafoe.
Right.
And he plays. Who does he play? Voltron? He plays Volko. He's the guy that trains Aquaman.
He's like his advisor.
He's the guy that trains Aquaman. They showed him, and they showed like training sequences. Like,
dude,
it was so cool.
They showed a little more of the fight between Aquaman and Ocean Master.
Yeah.
Right, they got a little Matrixy there for a bit,
and they're in the water.
I know, but that's why
so
got a little Matrix.
It's all slow down. But dude, that movie looks amazing. So that'll be the trailer. That's the trailer of the week. Check it out. If anything, it's gonna be
amazing.
A feast for the eyes. Like James Wan is knocking it out the park. Speaking of James Wan, they've already started casting for Swamp Thing for the DC Universe.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I'm kind of.
And speaking of DC Universe,
that's cool.
Young Justice
comes out.
Where it comes out in January.
January
right?
4th. So it comes right out like a few weeks after. I think it's like a few weeks after Titans ends. So it's like,
and speaking on Titans,
and speaking
the
on
introduction
Titans,
of Jason Todd.
They introduced Jason Todd, aka Red Hood,
who will later
becomes
after a lot of humbling, will become Red Hood.
Oh, if getting killed is humbling, then yes,
super humbling,
right? I was killed. That humbles me a lot.
Right? I was murdered. Hey, yeah, I remember you being, arrogant and real cocky. What changed?
What happened?
Well, I was murdered,
so I became murdery. I was murdered, so I became murdery. Like it unlocked another level. Yo, but they really like got his character. Like
they did. They got
like the
real
anger and like the
character.
cockiness and it was dude, when he beat up those cops and it was just like, yo, what's he doing? But that was like, they had it was shocking, but it wasn't shocking because they had established that, right?
It wasn't shocking for us because we knew that.
Right.
But like I'm watching it with Mike because it's so funny how she doesn't like anything superhero-y or whatever. She'll watch it because of me, but like she's super into Titans. Right? Mike got super into Titans. So when I watched it with her, she was like, oh my God, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? And
yeah, it's real good. It's real good.
Because that's who he is.
And the way I was cool though, right? Because not only like they showed him, they fought together, but
and he just kept throwing it in his face.
But Todd,
I'm the upgrade.
Well, but Todd even called Grayson out on some of his like whininess, some of his little
on a lot of his BS.
Yeah, so that was cool. So
this is my thing, right? And this is where my nerdiness and my love for Superman comes back, right? Will they give credit to Superman? Right, especially after this last episode, right? How many Robins should we be expecting? He said none. Right? So he's already on that. Like, okay, like it seems like he's already on that. Like I really gotta quit this. Like,
they haven't established. So they haven't established that any of the
Metropolis.
They haven't established any of the Trinity other than Batman.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't established the other two of the Trinity, right? So and they haven't even done a flyby.
Not even a mention.
So like in Arrow, when Oliver Queen goes, ask Bruce Wayne, he's a billionaire. Like they threw those nods. Yeah. They haven't done that yet.
But even before that, they mentioned Gotham.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see.
Because I don't know. According to me, right, and the nerdiness of me, and plus the whole canon and origin,
right.
Without Superman, there's no Nightwing, right? He would have been called Redbird,
yeah,
or something.
Red Robin. Yum. I got a feeling that they're not gonna tie that in because they haven't established that.
Right.
They just havenn't established.
I mean, who knows? Jeff Johns might be holding on to it.
I got a feeling that Corey's gonna end up giving him that name.
Well, get ready for the nerdy backlash.
Right. I mean, just because as of right now, the way it's been set up, like their relationship, right, has evolved and is evolving. So that's why I feel like maybe she's the one that's gonna end up giving him the name.
You think she'll get her memory back and start flying? Maybe she doesn't fly because she doesn't remember.
Yeah, according to Teen Titans, she has. What's it? She said that she can fly because she thinks happy thoughts and likes to fly or something like that. And because it was an episode where her and Raven like did a Freaky Friday and switch bodies.
Okay,
it's a great episode. So it was a funny episode.
Teen Titans or Teen Titans Go?
No, Teen Titans.
I'll have to watch that.
So anyway, Young Justice coming out. We are super excited about that. Which means that probably this month December I'll be rewatching Young Justice. I just watched it like a couple months back.
Yeah, I started watching it again too.
Front to back. So anyways, we got that. Song of the week. Let's see what that's out. As always, we always like to kind of push a song. This week's song is it came out a few months back, but such a good song. It's a group called Citizens. The name of the song is Strength and Beauty, and so we'll have the video. It's a powerful song. And they're part of Humble Beast. I know that right now they just did a Kickstarter to raise funds for their new album.
Word.
So yeah, we'll have it on the website. Check it out. It's a great song. I think it's a great song. I think it was the first time Jay had heard it, and
Yeah, it was first time I heard
this
the
how you know.
song,
This
so-
how you know it's a good song because this is the first time Jay heard it, and he was like, "That's the song."
Yeah.
He was like, "That's the song." So
It wasn't like, hey, look, I heard this song, check it out. It's like, yo, that's it.
that's it. It wasn't like, well, let's about this one. No, that's the song. So we got Aquaman, Young Justice. Now, so we're gonna kind of so Jay sent this article to me and Angel and I, or me and Angel and me, or whatever it be. This article that he found, it was very interesting, and this article is kind of a good jump off into kind of what we're going to talk about today, kind of into the kind of this idea, this thing that we're bringing up. One of the things that we love to kind of always put at the forefront because we're, I guess, passionate about changing our mindsets when it comes to this kind of stuff. So there was this article in Church Leaders that came out earlier this month, and the title is real simple. It says Judah Smith launches church in the palm of your hand.
What?
So it's a tiny little church, tiny little steeple.
Little steeple.
When you open the door, you see all the people.
Wah, wah, wah.
Remember that with the hands? Like,
Yeah,
here's
remember
the
that.
church to the people. Anyway, open the doors, I see all the people. So Judah Smith, pastor of what used to be City Church, but they changed the name to Church Home. Now it's the name of the new church. What's funny is that they're like, it's a multi-site church, Seattle and Los Angeles, which I get it. That technically is multi-site, but when you think when you first read multi-site, you're thinking like, like
Yo, it's got like
five,
elevation.
5 different campuses, or like North Point or Elevation, or Life Church or whatever. So, the article is talking about how what people have so anyway, well, I lost my point here.
Church home.
Church Home. So it's an app that they're launching. So, in a tweet he put, "Hey, the phone in the palm of your hand." Smith announced the location of Church Home's new church plant is the phone in the palm of your hand on his Twitter account on Sunday, November 4th. In his tweet, Smith included a link to the new app that ushers user into Church Home Global. As I said, they got 2 churches, physical church places now in Seattle and Los Angeles. And so this app that they're launching is a way to connect people. So on the app, users can watch daily video content featuring church home pastors, and they can watch services and community events live. Users can even interact with other people in something called lobby chat. Additionally, users can submit a prayer request and pray for other people. The app promises to help facilitate growth through online messages and allowing users to participate in classes and sermon series. As far as fellowship is concerned, users can join a digital church home community, a physical church home group in their vicinity, or they can start a group of their own. The church describes itself as a small church with a lot of people that wants everyone to feel that they are part of our community, to find the acceptance, friendship, and family they need.
But how can you do that if you're disconnected while you're connected?
So that
It's a connected disconnect.
So that right. So that leads to the question. Jay gave the answer before the question was asked, which is fine. Which is, well, my question. So my point, my first thought was, is anybody really going to? I mean, I'm sure there are going to be people, right? So but numbers wise, how many of these groups are how many people are actually going to be like, hey, I want to start a group,
Right.
And I want to start a group where I invite people into my home that I don't know, that I only know online, right? If I met them online.
And not only that, but a lot of one of the major flaws of churches, as far as the gathering together, is the formation of cliques, right? So there's not a lot of people feel ostracized or not plugged in because you come in new and there are already these relationships and these cliques formed, right? And it's like almost like this idea, like it feeds the cliques, right? Hey, you know what?
Right.
Hey, Judah Smith just did this mobile church online. Yo, we don't need to come here. Our group, we're the cool kids. We can just meet at our house, drink some coffee, eat some coffee cake, and just do our own thing.
Right, and watch the sermon on TV. My question with this is like if people, okay, so we've already, it's been established that people aren't going to church, right? And you have people, I've had conversations, you've had conversations, we've had these conversations with people. I don't like going to the church. I don't like going to church because, right? Fill in the blank.
XYZ, right?
So now all we're doing, because they're not the only people that do this, right?
Correct.
Pretty much every I would say 99% of every mega church has something similar to this, right? Where it's like, hey, you can watch the sermons online. Hey, you can jump on our app and to interact with, certain peoples or whatever. And it's like, well, so people aren't coming to church. So now you're giving them more of an excuse to not come to church. But then they'll say, well, I don't like going to church because I can't connect with people. When it's like, well, you ain't going. How are you going to connect with anybody if you're not physically there? Which is why I thought the whole idea of like a small church with a lot of people was kind of funny, because if I've been in small churches, you've been in small churches, and a small church is a small church, and the people in everybody. The small church, and everybody knows you. Sometimes to your detriment, right?
Correct.
Right, because they're all up in your business. And you like, fool, back up. I wish I had an online church. y'all know too much. So I mean, it's it.
The thing is that, right? Like, I get it, right? This is the age and the time that we're living in, where
right.
people are doing more things and they're socializing more online, these social media apps
right.
and all that, right?
But
and they're trying to, I guess, in a way,
connect to that.
Yeah, connect to those people, right? But
however,
at the same time, right, they're also helping in the isolation of other people, right?
Correct.
Helping other people to remain isolated.
Correct.
Right? When the whole idea of the church, of the first century church, if you read in the book of Acts, was that everyone came together
right.
and they all shared with each other everything,
right.
so that there was no need within the people. Right? Now you keep giving them ways to stay
away,
disconnected while connected, then there is no coming together, there's no sharing, right. There's no kingdom. Like, I've had these conversations where I tell people, like, I'm already getting to the point where even with people that I know that we're friends, right, there's still a disconnect as far as being kingdom family, right? If the gathering of the saints is so that we can fulfill each other's needs, right, and you and I know each other, and you're not telling me what you're struggling with or
right.
what's going on with you, right? How much worse it's going to be when I don't even see you
right.
to ask you, yo, what's going on? Are you all right?
Well,
like, what's the deal?
I mean, even something as like,
because I'm going to look at my phone. Oh, look, Joaquin plugged in.
Right. Or even like if, because like, me, like, me, you and Angel, like, we'll, when we need to, like, whatever, we'll text each other, right? And we'll be like, yo, man, can you pray for this? Or can you pray for that?
Right.
I mean, that's great. That's a great thing, right? Of being able to kind of connect in that way, like through text or whatever. But, when your dad died, let's use that as an example, right? Okay. That's a very
sure. Judge a painful memory.
Yes,
for me.
That's a very emotional thing, right? So now, if you just text me, right? Hey, man, my dad just passed away. Well, where's the connection, right? The connection is that I come over to your house, right, and I give you a shoulder to cry on, and we connect, in that physical space as brothers. So if this is just all online and you're texting someone, you're like, oh, I'm so sad today because You know,
there's some things that we go through where being told I'm gonna pray for you is not enough.
Right. You need that physical. All of us need that connectedness, that like physical connection.
Yeah, you bring my dad's death, right? Remember, like just being at my dad's funeral, right, and seeing people from VCC show up, right?
Right.
Still makes an impact on me to this day.
Right. People
right? when Brad came, like out of nowhere, and he brought a couple beers and like 60 nuggets because it was too late to buy chicken wings.
Right.
For the
Super Bowl.
For the Super Bowl, right? Ridiculous.
Right.
Probably even meaningless to some people, but it still left a mark on me, right? Now, if he would have been like, dude, sorry that your dad passed, I'm going to pray for you.
Right.
Right? I'm like,
thank you.
Thanks. But,
right. And that's the thing, because it wasn't about.
I'm in a dark place feeling suicidal, but yeah, thanks for praying.
Right, because it wasn't about, right, because it's not about, right, it's not about the beer or the chicken nuggets. It's about, even if he just showed up with nothing. Right? It's about that connectedness that we have when we're able to be together in a physical space. That's the thing that makes me kind of go, I don't like this. Because what happens when you're in your little chat group, somebody says something as traumatic as that, right? My parent has passed away. My kid got cancer and they died. And there's no one there to give that comfort, right? Or let's say it's like, oh well, I'm gonna show up, I showed up to your dad's funeral, but you only know me through the conversations we've had in this chat group.
I didn't know you by your
my handle,
online
right?
handle.
So I show up and I'm like, hey man, it's me, it's
it's Joaquin 457.
It's Joaquin 457, and you're kind of like, oh man, thanks for being here, but we don't have that kind of relationship.
Right. It's like, oh, thanks for coming.
You'll appreciate it because it was a nice thing to do.
Oh, man, thank you so much. And I'll just keep it moving.
But there's no, and so, that's the worry. That's the worry with a lot of this kind of online stuff. I get it that the kind of this younger generation, because we're talking about, with like Junie and how when he was interested in his girl and they would, he wouldn't call her. He would send Snapchats, and it was just kind of like, dude, just call the chick.
Right.
Say, hey, let's go get an ice cream cone or whatever corny thing is, right?
Let's go get an ice cream cone.
But trying to connect with people, online, that's a difficult thing to do. And so now we have where that leads kind of into what you want to talk about, which is kind of this idea of, so what is the church doing? And so it's like people bash the church because the church isn't doing enough, right? Oh, the church isn't connecting with people. No. But then we celebrate things like, oh, let's do communication where we don't connect with people.
Now, granted, right? We don't know Judah Smith.
It's not an indictment on him.
We don't know Judah Smith, so we're not trashing him or his idea. But sometimes the ideas with the best of intentions have not so good results, right? And this isn't to say that this idea, this app, is going to be a detriment,
right?
Like a complete failure, right? It might work for some people,
right?
But for the most part, it's like what we said before, right? This generation is the most disconnected generation while being connected.
Right. They're right. This generation is the most connected generation in the history of the world,
and suffers the largest disconnect.
Yet they're super depressed. Yet they're isolated. They're lonely. They're sad because they're isolated and lonely. Right. They're not making connections. Boys are retreating into their video games and into their rooms. Kids are so connected that they're cyberbullying each other, and kids are killing themselves.
And it's a real thing
because they can't handle it. And so then where do we kind of step into this
right,
thing?
so where does the church step in, right? And then, so this is the thing.
And where is it that where we step in, not just criticize, right? We criticize not what people are doing, but we criticize what is not being done.
What is not being done, right? And then the sad thing is, and I'm gonna go as far as saying that the criticism and the attacks are only in the American church.
that we know of, right? That we're aware of, because
and I'll say that because like the friends that I have that are Christians in other countries don't say like David out in Germany does not say, right, oh, the German church sucks, the German church like nothing, right?
Right.
Nothing.
He can't say that because you're not allowed to talk about the church over in Europe.
yes you can. You're so dumb. Right? But right, or like other friends that I have in other countries, they don't like it's not like the insert the country name here church
right
is no good, does not exist anywhere as far as my recollection, as far as I know, does not exist anywhere else but here. Right. And so little background. I went to my church's e-group for the second time, and
beep boop boop.
And the conversation turned, like, for whatever reason, it just kept going back to that. Oh, well, the American church. We're lazy and we're spoiled and, we blah, 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 blah. And
at least they said we and not it's.
No. They said it.
Oh.
They said it. And
fake news, Jay. Don't fake news this.
And I'm like, I'm sitting there, right? And every response that I wanted to give was combative. Right.
Which is not the way to respond.
Exactly. So I just stayed quiet, but like had the conversation with Magda on the way home. But which, she agreed to. She agreed with. Right? Because my thing is, the answer to everything that you see wrong with Christianity in America, right?
Right.
Or Christianity in the United States,
right,
is not found or cannot be solved with, well, the American church is whack. Right. Or the American church sucks.
Right. The American church is not ...
Right. Because like we were talking about before, with the same breath, we make statements like, oh, no, but the church isn't the four walls. The church are the people. The church is the body. So if you are a Christian in America,
right,
then the American church is you. So everything that you have negative to say about the American church, quote unquote, you're saying about yourself.
About yourself.
Right? And as far as I'm concerned, right, I don't go around attacking my faults publicly.
Nope.
I'm like, yo, you know what?
I go around attacking your faults publicly.
You do. Like, I see my faults, and
I'm just a mirror.
And if I'm feeling like I'm big enough to admit them, I'll admit them. Right. If I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet, and I'll fight them.
And I'll admit them for you.
So like there are things.
I'll say, Jay.
Hold on. There are like a couple months ago, I realized that although I have a lot of friendships and a lot of people I know, I sucked at being intentional in cultivating these relationships.
Correct.
Right? And I talked to Magda about it, and she was like, yeah, you suck at that. Right? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I am going to be more intentional about being intentional. Right? And has it worked 100%? Hell no. Because it's a discipline.
I mean, I've been telling you that forever, but yeah.
Yeah. Again, you're talking to the man in the mirror, right?
No, I am the man in the mirror. I'm you. I mean, heavier though, heavier and whiter. I'm you.
But that's the thing, right? It's funny because one time I was complaining about, I forgot where I was, but I was having a conversation with someone, and I was complaining about Latinos, right?
I don't like them either.
And I was just like, oh, Latinos. And there was a white lady in front of me who looked back at me and rolled her eyes and shook her head. And I was like, I was like, hey, my name is Jose. I have the right to talk about my people. You don't.
Word. Right? In your face. And then she goes, my name is Maria. I'm a white Latina. And you're like, oh.
Right? and she was just like, I think she actually moved to another line, right? I can talk about my people because that's the way it is, right?
Right.
As a Latino, I'll admit to how we Latinos fall short, right?
Right.
But then try to do things that'll make the perception of Latinos better.
Right. Well, that's the hope, right?
Yeah. I mean, every small bit helps,
the hope.
right? But if you are a Christian in the States and all you do is degrade
bash the church
and bash the church
Yep.
and bash the church and bash the church, right? You're doing two things. Well, you're doing a couple things, but I'm going to focus on these two things. Number one, you're making God look bad, right? You're making God look bad because you, as his child, all you're doing is talking bad about his bride.
Right.
And you know what? As a husband, you talk bad about my bride, I'm going to punch you in your mouth.
And the Bible does say they'll know us, right, by how we love
Exactly.
one another.
Exactly, right? But also, right?
But you don't want to love other Christians.
You don't, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you leaving your house and talking crap about your parents, your brothers, your sisters, and where you live? Right? Get up and move. Get up and leave. Right? Yep. Leave. Because then that's the thing, right? Because
get out the way.
a lot of what was said was, well, in other countries they appreciate their faith more, and in other countries it's like, are you kidding me? Like I sat there, yo, like Dwayne Johnson when he was The Rock, right? And he would put up that eyebrow, like, do you smell that? Yo, if you would have seen how high I lifted my eyebrow, like my eyebrow almost went to the back of my head because I was like, yo, are you serious right now?
So,
listen.
So basically, it was a good thing that I wasn't there because I wouldn't have held back.
Oh my God, we would have tag teamed everybody, because I was like, yo. In the spirit of Thanksgiving.
Let me clear my throat.
In the spirit of Thanksgiving, right? Thank the Lord that you were born in the United States and have the liberty and the freedom to worship God as you wish,
as you want,
where you want, how you want, right? Don't say that somebody in communist China appreciates their faith more when it's illegal and they have to like hide somewhere in the woods or in the mountains and not be found.
Right, because we've shared those articles where they they have to go by. Well, and that's the thing, right? Because then they look at us and go, "How do you not appreciate your faith more?" Right? It's which is funny, right? Because it's like, and I don't remember if this is something we shared, but I remember we both saw this video where like they had brought Bibles. To a church, underground church in China,
and they were crying.
Like they were like, I'm holding the word of God, and they're just crying because they were so hungry. I think that's the problem that we have. If you want to say the American, I think that's a problem that we, especially those that like to always criticize what is or isn't being done.
Right.
Is that there's no love, there's no hunger for the word, because I think those people that we run into that have a hunger for the word and a reverence for the word and a love for the word, you notice they don't really criticize. They don't really criticize as much, right? I mean, they might point things out, but and obviously I'm being very general, right?
Yeah.
But when you have a love for the word, how do you then not have a love for the church people? How do you not have a love for the church?
If you have a love for the Lord, how do you not have a love for his bride? Right? How do you not have a love for the Lord, for his children?
How do you not have a love for his word? How do you not have a love for his children? How do you not have a love for,
when I was in New York, I don't remember this guy's name, but he was a pastor in India.
Right?
And like when he came to our church, everybody was like, oh, wow, hey, pastor from India. When he preached at the church, it was like, I want to thank Pastor Spadro for allowing me to be here as I am hiding from my country. Like I had to jump on a plane and come to the United States. My family had to be taken away and hidden. I don't know where they are. Right? Because once they found out what we were doing, like they came in the night and they were trying to murder us because we were preaching the gospel.
Right.
I'm like, damn,
Whoa.
yo, like that's real.
That's real.
You know what I mean? So in other countries, right? Let's say like in Saudi Arabia, or give me a better one.
No, Saudi Arabia is a great one.
No, that's why I say give me a better one.
Because you're not allowed to build churches in Saudi Arabia. No Christian churches are allowed to be built in Saudi Arabia.
None.
You're not allowed to publicly worship in Saudi Arabia.
But not only that, right? But if you are, right? And this is the thing, right? If they find out that you are a Christian in Saudi Arabia, yo, you get dragged out into the street.
You want a better one? I got you a better one. You want a better one? No.
Dale.
In Pakistan, just now,
dude, that's right.
They released this girl that they had sentenced to death for blaspheming against the Prophet Muhammad. They released her from jail, and now they're trying to get her. They're asking, yo, we need to get this girl out of the country because there are people in Pakistan right now that if they find her and see her, they will kill her.
Murder her. Right? But
even her lawyer's looking to get out because they're like, how dare you help.
But that's the thing, though, right?
blasphemer.
Because, right, if they find her, it's not like they don't have to do like a secret thing to like murder her in secret, right?
Right.
They can publicly murder her,
right?
And they'll be seen as heroes. Not only murder her,
even if they
don't, but murder her family.
Well, they can publicly,
and they'll be seen as heroes.
They'll be seen as. They can just do it, and people will just be like, psh.
Yo, but they'll celebrate it,
right?
Like, they'll dance in the street.
Doesn't even matter.
They'll dance in the street because this person murdered the blasphemer, right?
Right. Well,
so it's not about they appreciate it more. It's that
it's literal life.
They don't have the liberties that we have,
right.
and instead of us here like taking advantage of these liberties and doing something and practicing true religion, as detailed in James 1:27, what we do is that we bash ourselves, right?
Right.
We look in the mirror. We point the finger and we say, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck.
Right.
Right? And we don't do anything. We don't feed the poor.
And
we don't take care of the widowed and the orphan and the least loved. Right? We don't evangelize. We don't love our enemies. We don't love our neighbor. Right? We do none of those things, but it's everybody else's fault because we're too comfortable.
Well, and then
we
people
take it too easy.
Then the people that do those things are too Christian.
Yeah, they're too fanatical.
They're too,
right?
Or
you're
evangelizing.
And let's be real. And we've talked about this. We found examples here where Christians get persecuted here, right? They're not publicly hung on a tree. They're not publicly like decapitated in the public square.
Right.
But they do receive persecution here, right? They do. Especially now more than not to the extremities as in countries where it's illegal.
It's
right. But let's say
it's an easy persecution.
But let's say like in England, right?
Right. Well, Europe.
In England, no, but like I'm saying, like in England specifically, it's against the law for a Christian, not any other religion, for a Christian to walk in a public place with the Bible and speak to people about Jesus.
All right, so I'm gonna expand that for you because it's all of Western Europe. My mom went to France many years ago now, and I'm gonna say a quote unquote. I'm not being sarcastic, but it was a quote unquote mission trip. Basically, all they did was walk neighborhoods and pray because they were not allowed to.
Right.
Like if somebody came up to them and they're the ones that started the conversation, then you could have that conversation, but you couldn't go up to someone and be like, "Hey, yo, would you like to know about Jesus?" No, that's against the law. I mean, that is in Western Europe. So it's not even England. It's like all of Western Europe. It is. You don't do that.
Yeah, because I had a friend who visited London, right, and they asked her to cover or to buy a new shirt because she had like a shirt with a cross, like one of those Caruso shirts,
right,
from all the Christian bookstores
back in the day,
right?
Lord's Gym, baby,
and yeah, exactly. Like she had one of those Caruso shirts,
Bloodweiser. This blood's for you.
and they asked her to either put something on, right, or to get another shirt,
right,
because that was offensive,
right,
and it was against the law.
And I've been like, but be offended. I'm an American citizen. What you gonna do? I go back home. I don't even like your country.
It rains too much.
You know, y'all speak funny and drive on the wrong side of the road.
But that's the thing, right? And
I love you, English people.
And I'm stuck on England because England is supposed to be like the last fully Christian nation, right, on the planet. God save the Queen and all that, right? Right? But my daughter lived there, right? You know what I mean? Milena lived there.
Yeah.
And she had to like walk an hour to go to the supermarket because of the no-go zones.
Right.
Right?
Those don't exist, Jay.
Yeah. No, of course not. Yeah. Like the mafia doesn't.
They don't really exist either.
Not anymore. But anyway.
Don't
right? But that's what I'm saying. But anyway.
Don't digress.
But this is the deal, right? What we're trying to say here, right? And again, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I don't want to be bashing anybody, but I am a little bit.
Jay doesn't, but I do.
It's like that, but I know I'm saying I am a little bit.
But
let's be grateful instead of bashing the church.
Yeah.
Right. Let's be grateful that God has given you the grace to be born, or to be in a country where you could serve Him freely, where you could worship Him freely.
Yep.
Right, and not in communist China, where you have to find a cave in the middle of winter, right, just to sing,
or communist Russia,
just to sing a song, or even communist Russia, even in China, the China. I was going to say the church in China, right? The one that's not hidden has to be approved by the government,
right? And they have things they have to
abide by, and they have rules they have to abide by, things they have to omit that they can't say. Right? Or if not, they'll shut it down and they'll arrest everybody that goes there.
Yep.
Right? So, be grateful. Be grateful, and instead of bashing the church, right? Do something.
Yeah.
Do something. Be active.
Be what's the be the change you want to see?
Thank
right?
you, Gandhi.
As corny as that is, or as corny as that's become, right?
Right.
But that's the truth. Listen, I make no apologies, man. We live in a great country. With all our faults, we live in a great country. And we live in a country where that allows us, to worship, and a lot, like Jay said, allows us to worship and allows us to meet and to pray for each other and wherever, right? We could go to Starbucks and get together, and me and Jay could meet up at Starbucks and physically open Bibles and sit together and just pour over Scripture and talk over Scripture. And, at worst, somebody could say, well, we don't like you talking about that here, and it's like, okay, right? I mean, at worst, right? I mean, at worst. I mean, the worst is that the manager of Starbucks could say, hey, we don't want you doing that here, so can you please leave? Okay, we're gone. But that's it. That's the worst that can happen. We can get asked to leave somewhere.
Yep.
That's the worst.
The very worst.
So, I love the church. And I've said this a lot of times. Jay has said this, and that's kind of our thing, right? We love the church because the church is us. And as much grace as I need, as much grace as I need God to give me. One thing is it's so much easier to walk this faith when you're with others that are also walking through the same things with you. And so instead of us attacking our brothers and sisters who are struggling like we struggle, we have to give them the same amount of grace that we want them to give us. And I think if we remember that, and if we remember, look, we're all in this together. None of us are perfect. That's why we need the church. We need imperfect people to come together to worship a perfect God, so that we can try to try to reach the standard that God has for us. That's what it's about. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's the way I see it. So, as we give thanks for our family and our friends, let's give thanks for our church family. Let's give thanks for being in a place where we can worship. Let's give thanks for being in a place where we can criticize the church and say, this is what we need to do. And then we can put steps to that and put feet to that. If you think your church needs to start feeding the homeless, be the person that starts feeding the homeless and bring your church into that. If you think your church needs to reach the neighborhood around you, then be the person that makes that step. Stop criticizing what is or is not being done. That's what all of us need to do. We need to stop criticizing what is or is not being done, and we need to step into that. And we need to step into that with faith and with mercy and with grace and with love and with patience and with kindness.
And I'm gonna say this
like
again.
the fruits of the spirit.
I kind of just threw it out there, but I'm gonna say this again. All right.
Joaquin is awesome. No, that wasn't
the Bible says that the church is the bride.
Yes.
Right, of God. Right. Me,
I'm the bride.
Jae, as a husband. Right.
Right.
If I were to find out that anybody is bashing on my wife or talking bad about her or whatever, even no lie. Even if there's some truth to what you're saying,
right,
you're still bashing my wife. We're gonna get into it. All right, we're gonna get into it.
Well, I would even say it this way, right? Because God is way more merciful than we are.
Amen.
But let's say you heard someone talking bad about Magda, right? And it's somebody, it's somebody that you know, somebody that you consider family.
Mm-hmm.
Take the anger part out of it, right? But the hurt.
Right. There's going to be hurt and betrayal, but it's still going to be angry. I'm going to get in your face.
That deep. No. I'm not talking about the response, because God's not going to respond that way.
He might.
Right? He's not going to respond that way. But
he might.
But that deep. No, he's not. God's not going to show up and start yelling at you.
No. I'm not saying
that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. But that deep hurt. That's.
Can you imagine? Oh God.
Then a lot of stuff wouldn't. We both would be in big time trouble.
I'd be dead.
But that deep hurt. That you would feel that because somebody's talking bad about someone you love.
Someone that you love is talking bad about your wife.
That is
about your bride.
That is how I would so that's the imagination we're having here, is that the hurt that God must feel when his own people are bashing
his people
and not loving his people.
Right.
So let's try to,
let's
think in that way.
Let's be thankful, right? Let's be mindful of giving thanks to God for allowing us
with a grateful heart,
right? For allowing us to serve in this country, right?
Yes.
And with that, every complaint that you have about the church, right? Take an internal look. Right. Take a look at yourself and see where do you line up with your own complaints.
Right.
And be proactive on doing something against that.
Right.
Right. So if you complain that the church doesn't serve the homeless enough, like Joaquin said earlier, then get up and serve the homeless. And when you see them, instead of rolling up your window or ignoring them when they come by, right,
or trying to hit them with your car,
right, do something to help.
Yeah, like I know somebody who has little. She prepares little bags of like toothpaste and soap and socks.
Yeah. When I was youth pastor at VCC, we had the homeless help kits, and we would make them and just give them to people to keep in their car, and when they see someone, just take it out and give it away.
You drive by, you throw it at them. No, you stop and then throw it at them. So that's it. So,
wait. Just one more thing. Right. In the continuation or in the continual complaint and bashing, right? You have to realize that after everything that God has done for his bride, for the church, right? You're complaining and you're attacking the church, right? Does cause like little fissures of disconnect between you and God.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And if we want to compare ourselves to the persecuted church, right? The persecuted church fights to not have these fissures, not have this disconnect. Right? That's why they're as hungry as they are. We have the freedom and the ability to be completely connected, but we waste so much time complaining and bashing that we don't realize how disconnected we are. And I'm of the mind to say that the more we bash right? And the more we complain and the more we attack, the more you have to realize just how disconnected you might be to the Holy Spirit, right? Because if the Holy, like you said earlier, if the Holy Spirit abides in all of us and it's manifested through us by the fruit of the Spirit, right? So if you're so busy bashing the church, right, then the fruit of love is not in you,
right?
And there's a disconnect there, and you need to reconcile that, right? Reconnect to the Holy Spirit so you can show all 9 fruit instead of just shaking the fist.
Shaking your fist. That's it. So, hey, we're going to leave it at that. As always, thank you for joining us. Thank you for, hanging with us this long. We really, really appreciate it. Love you guys. Remember, go to theoverflowpodcast.com. We'll have the videos. We'll have the music. All that stuff will be there. And on there, you can subscribe to the podcast and all the different platforms. Hey, have a great Thanksgiving, guys. Enjoy this time, whether it's with your blood family, your church family, or both, all intermingled.
Your friend family.
Your
right?
friend family, right. So, hey, as always, I'm Joaquin.
And I'm still Jay.
And this is the Overflow Podcast.com. Love you guys, and see you next week.